Hey guys, Ash here in RAID Shadow Legneds. Welcome to the video. Send some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you're going through something, especially if you need it out there today. But hey, what could be better? Me, you, RAID frickin' Shadow Legneds. What more is there in life? Well, quite a bit more, I guess, right? Probably. Anyway, I digress, guys. I'm happy to have you here because we're going to talk about one of my favorite champions in the game. And you all know her, but nobody uses her enough out there. Maybe like one or two of you. The vast majority of players need to use this champion more. Why? Because let's face it, especially people who don't like PvP, right? And there's a lot of you guys out there, right? Ever since 2019, Plarium has been shoving PvP down PvE players' throats. It all started back with the Great Hall. They added Great Hall to Teleria back in 2019, which was an awesome addition to the game, an area that everybody can go to max out their stats in every area of the game. What a beautiful addition to RAID, right? The only problem is you can only get these valuable stats that help you out everywhere in the game by playing the arena, by playing PvP. Players were annoyed by it, but eventually they adjusted. And then once they adjusted, once they finally, those early players, once they finally started actually farming up and maxing out their Great Hall, Plarium did something else. They said, you know what? A lot of players are starting to make progress on their Great Halls. Let's give them what they didn't ask for and more arena. In tag team arena, but we got to attach it to something because this game mode is very, very boring. So what can we do? Let's attach it to daily quests, advanced quests. Let's give them a bazaar. Let's give them Drexstar Blood Twin. Let's give them some good gate-kept rewards here in gold that nobody can get. Ouch. They can save for them, but they can't get them, right? You know what? That's not enough though. That's not enough for this game, this boring game mode. Let's go ahead and give the people, a way to farm more faction war keys every day. But they have to play tag team arena in order to do so. Oh yeah! And then once people got used to the daily grind that is tag team arena to get your faction war keys, they added live arena, didn't they? And in live arena, they added Quintus the Triumphant and decent little champion. Some people love him, some people hate him, right? And okay, legendary. But that wasn't enough. That wasn't getting people to play, right? You gotta add advanced quests that you can only get from the live arena. You gotta add your live arena daily wins. You gotta add one of the best champions in the entire game in Marius the Gallant that is tied to live arena missions. And then, as if that wasn't enough, they gotta add the area bonuses for every area in the entire game. But there's only one way to get them. It's through live arena, baby. That's it.
Swear to God, I'm gonna kill him.
And it can frustrate some players out there, especially who don't like live arena, right? You can understand why. Now, you know, part of the reason people don't like live arena or arena in general is because, especially live arena, you know, what if you were to face off against a dirty, disgusting pay-to-win Kraken? Now, I don't know anybody like that personally, right? But what if you were to face off against one of those people? You get frustrated. And I see a lot of people, hypothetically, I see a lot of people quit after I draft one mythical, or after some other guy drafts one mythical. I don't want you guys to be quitters in live arena or anywhere else for that matter.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Give it a try. You never know. I've been beaten by Fenax before. I've been beaten by Epics on an allied attack team or something like that. But there's tactics. There's champions like Fenax that we can use that are a lot easier to get, especially with epic empowerment and blessings if you're lucky enough to have them, right? That can really make a guy like him with this put down ability next level. But that's not the champion we're talking about today. We're actually talking about a champion that's more unique than Fenax. Now, Fenax does have a very good Deny Revive on his A1, but he's not the only champion in the game with a Deny Revive on his A1 in the entire game. He's one of the best, obviously. Great for ally attacks. You guys know Fenax. He's amazing, right? He's my number 2 favorite epic, by the way, for the arena, right? But Cardinal, yeah, good old boring old school Cardinal. She has this ability in Redemption that's very misunderstood. Now, if they were to make this ability today in the game, it wouldn't read like this. This is how it would read. It wouldn't say revive all dead allies, heals them by 25% of their max HP, and boost their turn meter to max. No, it would read revives all dead allies with 25% HP, period. Immediately grants an instant turn ability to all revived allies. That's what this ability is. Now, what am I doing? Splitting hairs here? Am I living in the nuance? No, not at all. Cardinal rest of her kit, nothing too fantastic. Increased defense, a heal, a little dinky poison on the A1, whatever, right? And she's missing a lot of things that we look for in a reviver in the arena specifically, right? Like the increased turn meter, the increased attack, right? Really important. So we don't have any of that with Cardinal. But this ability, what a lot of people don't realize, because it doesn't explain it, there's no user's manual that actually includes this valuable information in the game. What a lot of people don't realize is, I'm gonna try to make this as simple as possible, because I'm no Saf here. I'm not breaking down some next level knowledge for you, but I'm gonna try in my little G-rated version, right? So in RAID Shadow Legends, sometimes you'll have a champion like Sify the Lost Bride or a Raglan, basically a champion that revives somebody with 100% turn meter, right? So the A3 revives single ally with a full turn meter. Now you may have noticed this if you're lucky enough to have any of these champions that revives with a full turn meter, that oftentimes whoever you just revive with a full turn meter doesn't go next. They don't go. They have a full turn meter.
Tell me something I don't know.
Go. Just go. But sometimes the enemy, they can take 3 turns before your full turn meter revived ally even gets 1 turn. I thought they had a full turn meter. No, the way that RAID works is there's no such thing as a full turn meter, right? It's not like there's 100% of a turn meter, and once you get 100, you get a turn. You're actually added to a queue with every other champion in battle, and your turn meter can eclipse 100. I could have a champion that's at 90% turn meter, Arbiter boosts them by 30%, they're at 120. The enemy might have a champion that has 122 turn meter, and they're gonna go before my champion, even though I boosted them into a over 100 turn meter, you know? It's weird the way it works, but hopefully that's, you know, the easy way to describe it. But not with Cardinal. And this is why there's no mythical in the game, there's no legendary in the game, there's nobody in the game that has an ability like that, right? There's a few instant turn ability champions, and they're super meta and super good. Well, at least one of them is. And Shu Zhen, it's one person gets an extra turn. Now, it's a lot different. It's not tied to revive and whatnot, but it's a unique ability, right? There's another epic who has it in Ayala, but it's an instant turn, 12% chance. It's RNG. It's fun, but it's just all RNG off of her passive, right? But there's not many champions that have this ability, and it's so incredibly powerful. So you can get by. Think about the meta right now. A lot of teams in this meta, let me show you the build while I blab on to you guys for 10 minutes before I even show you any freaking gameplay in this video. When you talk about the meta right now, teams are built, even mythical teams, they're built to withstand a couple turns because they have stone skin and basically like punch you out, knock you out, or they're built to be a lot tankier and just, you know, withstand. But a lot of teams aren't built for you to get 2 cracks at them. Meaning, yeah, you can have your team around Cardinal, you can give it your all, right? And if you don't kill him, you build a semi-slow, high-resist Cardinal like this, and then she revives them, but she could give up to not 1, but 2, but 3 instant turns. That means you get to take ostensibly 4 turns, including her revive, while your opponent can do nothing. Even if they're sitting there at 120, 130 turn meter, right? They can't do anything. That's a lot of valuable time for you guys to kill them and turn the tides of a battle that otherwise was stacked heavily in your opponent's favor, okay? So I like high resist because we can't have her CC'd. So high resist survivability. Speed is like good, but it's not imperative, right? We'd rather have the stone skin and her resist everything. That way she's there. She's Johnny on the spot with the redemption when we need it. These are the masteries that we're going to go with today. Pretty much what you'd expect. We go down, we pick up Unshakable. I wouldn't even go with Retribution and Deter. I mean, I have to go with one of them, right? But I wouldn't even go with both of them. I wouldn't want her to accidentally get sheeped off the little dinky poison on the A1 or something like that. I do like Chainbreaker. Why not kind of double down on the resist and not get CC'd? We have a chance of removing 15% chance at 4-star here of removing stun, freeze, and all the other CC debuffs, right? Including petrification, which can be helpful, okay? I have her in 6-piece stone skin, and I'm trying to take advantage of this supersonic set, right? I'm trying to take advantage of protection set. 1 piece can give me 20 resistance. I even have an attack flat stat supersonic amulet on her. It's not ideal to have an attack flat stat, but I'm getting a ton of resist. I get the 20 and then I get the 47. So I'm getting 67 resist off this one damn stupid amulet. It's a lot of resists. So I'm taking advantage of the one pieces. Same thing with protection. I get this resist banner. I don't have enough stuff farmed up to max it out. But I mean, here I am. I'm at 108, but then I get 128 because I get the one piece bonus, right? And obviously this applies to any champion that you're building on your account. So that's the build. I do have resist obviously on the chest too. And I have HP and defense on the ascension stats and main stats on my gauntlets in my shoes, my boots. Ash, come on, what does she have for boots? Yeah, she has boots, all right.
Are you wearing the
Chanel boots? Yeah, I am.
You look good.
Shoes, bro? Did I just really say shoes? Are you listening to a guy who's gonna call him shoes? Anyway, so who's the lineup on our team? So we have an important decision because there's a few more misnomers. So stick with me for at least 2 more minutes, right? Because there's 2 important things to factor into a Cardinal team. You got to think a lot about the team around her, right? It's not going to be like your normal team. She's not going to be played like an arbiter. She's not going to bring the increased attack. So you want to either bring attack-based nukers that bring their own increased attack, right? Or you want to go defense or HP-based nukers. I like going a little bit tanky around her, right? But you don't have to. You could go like a Sun Wukong if you wanted to, right? You could, even though Redemption doesn't really jive with Sun Wukong, I was running a Cardinal, Sun Wukong, and a Hefrak team earlier, which is really fun because I'm basically taking advantage of an additional combo on the Hefrak passive with the Sun Wukong, and it was working out fine. But what else do we want on the same team with her? Ideally, champions with 2 really good abilities. AoE abilities or something really juicy, right? 2 of them, like a Michinaki, right? Why do we want 2? Well, it's probably pretty obvious because you want one before they die and one for after they die, right? If we have a champion with only 1 good AoE attack, maybe like a Foley, for example, right? He's not bringing his own increased attack. He uses his big A3 ability, right? And then, what is it, Sealed Fate or something like that? He uses his A3, now it's bothering me. What is his, he uses his A3 ability, and then he dies. Great, fantastic, all going, a Sealed Fate, yeah. Good job, Ash. All going according to plan, right? But then he dies and he comes back and it's off cooldown, right? He gets his instant turn. We have nothing to do instantly that's going to be worth it. So ideally, champions with 2 really good abilities. So I'm going to be using Eric's. Eric's going to be in a Stone Skin and Lethal set, okay? I'm going to be using a Timid the Fool. He's tanky HP base. She's tanky HP base. Perfect. Why do I want Timid the Fool on the team so bad? I'm also going to be using Solus, okay? Solus. Why Timid the Fool? Why Solus? Why am I running these champions? Timid the Fool and Solus have one thing in common, 3 things. They're nukers, they're tanky, and they both remove buffs. I want somebody who can reduce the duration like Timid the Fool or can flat out remove buffs like Solus, right? I want it could even be like just a regular buff, a Shemnath, a Mishinaki, right? I want somebody who can clear the table for everybody else to go because these teams are super nuke heavy, okay? Now there's one other thing. Let's get into battle here. There's one other thing to consider about these teams that might not immediately be intuitive, right? So this is my squad here. Get out of there. Where's Solus? He just does not want to join the team here. All right, I've got my squad here, right? We're never going to go first with a team like this. I use the extra accuracy just for the buff removal on these 2, right? So what order are they going to go in, right? Now, intuitively, a lot of players, and this is how I thought too initially, a lot of players might say, well, they probably use the order, just like ally attack, right? You have an ally attacker on the team. What order are your allies going to go in when they attack, right? Because some champions might have a decreased defense or something like a Ray on the A1. You want them to go first. It's going to based on their rotation, right? Number 1, number 2, number 3 on Solus, number 4 on Eric's. But that's not how instant turn works. They're all granted instant turn, but it actually goes in order of their speed. Why is that important? We want our buff remover to be the fastest of the 3 outside of Cardinal. Probably the fastest out of everybody, right? Now that's going to help us before the action too, before the death, I should say, right? Because here's our buff remover. We're going to come in here, decrease the duration of all enemy buffs by 3 turns. Boom, boom, boom. Now he can set the table. You can actually take an extra turn, set the table for himself a little bit here, but we don't even need Cardinal here, right?
And I am going home.
Because that's how we set the table. But the same thing is going to happen off of the revive too, right? So we want to make sure we're setting the table with our decreased defense or our buff remover. Anybody who's removing buffs or placing debuffs, we want them to be setting the table. They're going to have to be fastest, right? Now that's obviously kind of general advice anyway, but it's really important to know the order they're going to go depending on what they're doing, right? So, all right, guys, next team up. So the cool thing is I compel you guys to put a defensive-based nuker on the same team as her, because you can take advantage of that increased defense that she has for more damage on that A2 ability. So we're going to always be putting it on Solus here, right? So the enemy team goes, they do their thing, they do whatever they're going to do. We're going to go in. We're actually just going to go A2, try to land some stuns there. Could go with some higher resist there on my Erics, to be real with you guys. But again, we're always going to put that A2, the increased defense, on our defense nuker. Again, in this case, it's going to be Solus. It's going to set him up for his A3. Do some good jobs killing them. They revive. Let's just A1, try to get rid of, yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay, we didn't even have to do it that time, right? So sometimes you won't even need it, right? Won't even need the redemption, I should say. All right, let's go to the next match here. Well, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna prove victorious here. Smack with that A1. Finish it right there. Boom. Okay, next. All right, guys, another Siffy Rotos team coming right up. But I do want to take a moment to talk about what type of teams we wouldn't want to face utilizing a strategy like this, right? Because we talk a lot, about what is effective and why I love these, these teams and stuff like that. It's not just this video, we do it a lot here, but I want to make sure that we always talk about like the inverse, right? The opposite, right? What teams do we not bode well against with a strategy like this? Because it's very important, because I don't want people to start using teams and be like, dude, I just lost 10 matches in a row with this strategy like this, right? And that is cooldown champions. Very, very bad, right? And it's for the same reason that we spoke about wanting champions that do like 2 amazing things on our squad, right? In the beginning of the video, because we don't want to have we can't afford, with a team like this, for everybody to die after a Yumeko or after whomever goes, right? Because if we die after we get their Warlord or Crixia or Yumeko or Basher or whomever put our abilities on cooldown, we're just going to have a dinky A1 to use against the enemies, and that's not going to do anything. So try to avoid lockout champions, that's going to be a big, important, crucial part of this, because our cooldowns, they're not going to refresh when we get revived, right? So let me find a lockout team, and I'll show you why instead of telling you. All right, guys, so I found a lockout team here. And you guys will see before your very eyes exactly why these are going to be avoided. Now, obviously, there's ways around this too, right? How could we avoid it? How could we actually engage? What changes could we make to engage a team like this? We'd have to actually really factor in speed, which you can absolutely do, right? Meaning that we could have an Arbiter setting the table here. We could have everybody going very fast and still lean on redemption, right? As a matter of fact, I'll do that for you guys in the next battle. But look at this. We revived everybody after they went with Warlord. What's it gonna do? It's like an auto loss for us, right? That's why we definitely, unless we think we can outspeed them using a different kind of variation on a team like this, we're just going to be losing and losing and losing and losing, right? Because we don't want to revive them when all their abilities are off cooldown. Let me try to go on a faster team and see if we can tackle this team using a fast Cardinal team. All right, guys, here we go, here we go, here we go. We're trying out a whole new strategy. This time we have Mythicals on the team, right? Welcome to the big leagues. We have a lockout champ. They still went first, though. They're still faster than me. Chrissy's my fastest champion, but she still got in there and did some work. There's nothing to remove here with Armands, unfortunately, because everything's protected. All right, let's sheep Mr. Marius here. And you know what? Let's just go for the freaking kill. All right. All right. Let's... yeah, let's just try it, right? Let's redeem. The problem is when I switch forms... Marius is probably going to one-shot her. Let's just try. Yep. All right, so not ideal. we didn't, the one big redemption didn't even pay off, unfortunately. But the whole idea there, guys, was that we wanted to go in and we could have saved our redemption for like right now. It would have been a lot better, obviously. So I guess that's a good lesson as a final thing on this video, right? Is, oh, whoa, whoa. At least we got the kill shot here, but it got very close. We did get redemption, but it took a couple mythicals to get the job done. Avoid lockouts. Yeah, sure, we won this one, but again, it was really close and it's very, very challenging. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this like updated guide on how good Cardinal is nowadays, right? When we think of Cardinal, we think of cardio.
What the?
But you know what? Cardinal ain't half bad, and sometimes you have to employ these unorthodox strategies to pick up dubs in today's arena. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, watch the stead fall with me. Take care, guys.